Let's face it, owning a home today sucks. 12 different accounts to pay your bills, keeping track of documents, filing insurance claims, it's all a big hassle. Lawn care, plumbing leaks, maintenance issues. We could all use a little bit of help. Introducing HomePlan. Manage your home from the comfort of your couch. Pay bills, digitize documents and photos, schedule maintenance, hire contractors, and much more, all in one place, and get back to what matters to you most. Your time. Sign up for HomePlan and get a little bit of help when you need it most. It's home management made simple. Visit joinhomeplan.com today.
Welcome back, connoisseurs, to Cognac Corner. I am Marcus Onesimus Boston, and today we have two special guests on the show. We have the co-founders of HomePlan, Bash and Alex. Welcome, young men, to Cognac Corner.
Thanks for having us, Marcus. We appreciate everything.
Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. How you guys doing today? Looking healthy, looking well?
Thank you.
I'm good. I just moved to the Bay, actually, as you know, from St. Louis. So I'm doing well. It's been raining here almost every day since I've been here, which is not something I'm definitely not looking forward to that.
But the view is beautiful. I know that much.
Yeah, I lived in California for quite a while, so getting back to see the ocean every day is definitely something that I've been looking forward to.
Such a blessing. I don't got that kind of scenery here, but neither here nor there. Alex, how are you?
And Alex is in Ireland, so yeah.
Yeah, how's it?
I'm feeling fresh, but I don't think the Irish scenery compares. I don't think any other scenery compares to Ireland, but that's a debate for a different day.
Hey, I can't say anything otherwise. I'll listen to you. So I have you guys here to talk about HomePlan. So give us, help us understand what is HomePlan and what are the problems HomePlan is trying to solve.
Okay, so at HomePlan, we help homeowners maintain and manage their homes with software services and education. So the biggest problem today with home ownership is roughly 50% of homeowners actually regret purchasing a home, and that's attributed to the unexpected cost of maintenance. Homeowners typically lack the education to actually understand how to manage everything, and real estate in general is extremely fragmented. So you're going to have, anywhere between 10 to 20 accounts just to manage your entire home, from, your accounts to pay all your bills to taking care of property taxes to pretty much everything. It's pretty much a shit show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So essentially, we've created an all-in-one place for you to be able to do everything. So you can pay all of your bills, from mortgage payments to student loans. You can digitize all of your most important documents related to, let's say you get some documents from, let's just say your mortgage or your deed. Typically, people have that on paper, but they don't digitize it. So you can actually digitize it by scanning it, uploading it to our platform for safekeeping. You can also do things such as track your home inventory. So all of your appliances, from your stove to your refrigerator, microwave. We have tools to help you keep track of that, as well as your home warranties. And then even furthermore than that, once you get comfortable managing your home on our platform, our first core product offering is actually annual home maintenance plans. So you pay one set fee. Right now, we're still figuring out what that fee will be, but we've been testing with homeowners in 14 states. But you pay one set fee, and we take care of everything for your preventative maintenance, including things like lawn care. So we cut your grass every month for 7 months. We'll also clean your pool. We'll clean your gutters, power wash your home and driveway if necessary. We'll recaulk, if you have hardy siding or something like that, we'll recaulk that to prevent any sort of water damage. Basic home maintenance stuff. What most people don't realize is that if you refuse to or don't take care of, preventative maintenance and keep kicking the can down the road, we've had a situation where someone didn't take care of preventative maintenance and they had to replace an entire backside of their home, and it cost $30,000. But 3 tubes of caulk will run you $30. So, you want to pay $30 or $30,000?
I will take the 30, please, if I can. Yeah. So was it a collection of experiences. Are you a homeowner, I'm presuming?
Yes, I am a homeowner. Actually, so I bought a home in St. Louis, and I had all the same challenges that everybody else has with managing that home, right? Keeping together all the documents. The process of buying the house was tedious and arduous, and I kept getting all these documents that I need to store, and I'm like, okay, I have nowhere to put this stuff other than maybe a shoebox or put it in a drawer or whatever the case. But what if my house burnt down? I lose everything, right? Sure, I can go through and try to get access to everything again, but you can't rely upon a city to actually keep your documents. And actually, the cities are probably the worst when it comes to keeping track of historical documents, including your deeds. So, and then we had a few other issues, or a few other homeowners had issues, right? Before we even started HomePlan, we had a few homeowners in our neighborhood who actually just asked me for help. The first one was a guy named Kevin. He's my mother's neighbor, and he had just retired. He was forced into early retirement because he had a hip surgery, and he was trying to get up into his home one day and just asked me, "Hey, Bash, can you help me get in my home?" Walked him in his door, and he had three giant trash cans on, a fold-out table. And I asked him, "Oh, are you renovating?" He said, "Or remodeling?" He was like, "No, actually, that's to catch the rain. It's been raining in my house for 8, 9 months." So I tracked down the older woman, Sharon Tyus, in St. Louis, and she pointed me to the Healthy Homes program in the city. That's a federally funded program meant to help seniors and people with children in opportunity zones get maintenance and things fixed around their homes, right? So I helped him apply for that, and he got it. It took a while because the pandemic hit, but doesn't rain in his house anymore. He got a brand new roof. He got brand new fascia, soffit, gutters. So that took care of that. And then shortly after that, the neighbors for my mom and Kevin actually, was like, hey, how did you get this done or whatever? Because Kevin was known around the neighborhood as like the DIY guy. He was the guy you called to build you a porch, to put your roof on, all this. But the guy couldn't walk. He just had hip replacement surgery. So he told him pretty much, you need to get in touch with me, and it went from there. So I started helping them, and around that same time, we had another homeowner who's actually the mother of one of my friends. She had filed a roof insurance claim, and they sent her a ACV check of $5,800, and the initial claim was only for 12.4K. The problem with that is she lives in a neighborhood close to UMSL. They have certain requirements for if you have copper on your home, like copper gutters and copper flashing and stuff like that. You have to replace all of that with like material, which means you have to replace it with copper, which is expensive. Also, she has a slate roof. Slate roofs are rated to last up to 100 years, but with the crazy weather in St. Louis, the life expectancy for that is probably about 50 years. So she had reached the end of the life expectancy, and the insurance company was lowballing her. She didn't realize that if she had actually mobile deposited that check, like she was telling me she was going to do, that it would have created a contract, and she would not have been able to get out of that. So I told her, don't do that. I actually got up on her roof. It's 2 stories tall, slippery. It had rained the day before. I do not recommend that. It's dangerous. Please never do that. Yeah, the roof needs a few days to completely dry before you get up there. Please never get on a roof after it rains. Anyway, I got up there and I took pictures, and I told her, I said, hey, you need a total replacement for this roof. And she's like, oh, I don't know what that looks like. What's the process? I don't understand the terminology and the paperwork that my insurance company sent me. And I sat down and explained to her over probably 15 minutes, the best I could. Hey, we need to, get some things done. Let me hire a roofing company on your behalf, and I can go ahead and take care of things. And she did. And we eventually, after 5 months of submitting supplement claims with that roofing company to her insurance, we were able to get her a brand new roof. And not only that, we took care of the copper flashing and gutters. We also got brand new house wrap and siding on the second story of her house. And then also she had rain damage from the leak inside her home. So we had a complete tear out and replacement of a plaster wall in her room, and then they repainted the whole room so it looked like a brand new room. So yeah, it went from 12K to $53,000. And the last example I'll give you is a mutual friend that we both have actually. She was looking to purchase a home, and she got turned down by 3 mortgage lenders. And she's a millennial. She has a credit score in the 700s. She, makes I think $40,000 a year, if I can remember correctly. So her debt to income ratio, she didn't really have anything on her credit other than student loans and a car payment, which our car payment was next to nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you would think that she would qualify for a small home loan or a mortgage, right? She got turned down by 3 different lenders, and so I did some research, found out about the LRA program in the city, and we were able to help her submit a bid. I put together the entire thing, including gathering support from the local alderman on her behalf, and we put together the submission letter as well, attended the meetings, and we got her house.
That's dope.
And she bought a house. It's a fixer upper for sure, but the house was only a few $1,000s, and it's in a kind of a hidden gem neighborhood in the city.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think when I look over the platform and take the tours, you allow me to gravitate through it. It gives level of comfort because we don't know. As I look through a home plan's layout and what you guys trying to do and the goals, like for myself, I have not purchased a home, but I know that's part of the path of wealth based on
Right.
the society we are living in. It removes the fear. I think a lot of things we don't learn because we're afraid of the results. But what you guys create with Home Plan removes it because it feels as new as it is, as helpful as it is. It looks familiar. It's not intimidating because we don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we focused on making it as simple as possible to use. So that was probably, Alex, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was the third or fourth design that I had came up with. And so that actually the design the UI UX on the website now, I was so familiar with what not to do that I came up with a design that you see today for the website in 3 days. Because I took 18 months of researching this problem after after Kevin first asked me to help him with his in his house, and I realized that it was a problem. And then I looked around the neighborhood. I'm like, holy shit, everybody has these problems. After that, I got to work and I started researching. I talked to people from the city in the building department and building division. I talked to real estate agents. I talked to well over 200 homeowners. I took 18 months of just doing research and finding out how big of a problem it is. So that informed a lot of our design decisions as well. And then, Alex built everything from there. But our goal is to definitely make it as simple as possible to help people. And because real estate is one thing I want to add really quickly is that real estate is, like I said, heavily fragmented. So I personally believe that it's done that way purposefully to confuse people and to never give people a place that they can go to actually get things done in a timely manner. Because we want to stop stress for people. We want to give you back your time so that you can actually do things that actually matter in your life, right? So yeah,
I love it. I do. I love it. So where you guys from? Alex, go ahead.
Alex.
I'm from the south of Ireland. Well, listen, my geographical background's a bit more complicated, but so because I was born in New Zealand and we moved to Ireland when I was 2 or so, and so I've been in Ireland for the past 16-ish years, and listen, as far as my background goes, my dad is a software developer, and which is how I got into what I'm doing now, and he was able to shed some light on some of the issues around the real estate market too, because he's a software developer for a mortgage company. So and that's kind of one of the many reasons why I'm working on this today.
Yeah, and I'm actually from St. Louis. So I actually left St. Louis when I was about 19, moved to LA, worked in the music industry for a while, became somewhat successful with that. And my background in this is that I grew up around real estate my entire life. My mom, she actually used to be a architectural drafter for an architectural firm out in Baldwin, and then she actually got recruited to move to another architectural firm in Boston, but we didn't make that move because my brother got cancer, so we stayed in St. Louis. But I love St. Louis. However, I recently relocated to the Bay so that we can grow our network to, meet investors and meet other startup founders and set up an office out here. So we have offices actually in St. Louis and the Bay now.
Wow, wow, that's dope. So today is widely believed that founders should be experts or have some kind of experience in the markets they're trying to enter. So what are you guys' background? I know you say your father, Alex, has the technical background in real estate. You shared yours. What do you guys further background besides your family and your experiences with the real estate?
Well, I've been, like I say, helping people with their homes for a while, and I'm also a homeowner, so I'm solving my own problems as well. And I think that most founders should build something that they're familiar with, and solve their own problems or the problems of people close to them. So, to be honest, I never thought about doing anything in real estate. This all came full circle for me, right? Um, like I said, I used to work in music, and from there, I've this is my second company. My first company, we tried a few different things. We raised a little bit of money. I was able to convince a friend of mine who used to work as a senior engineer at Google and at Netflix. I was able to convince him to become our CTO at our first company, and we were building things that, I think that first company we went in search of a problem to solve. This time, it came to us. It came to me this time, and I actually didn't want to start a prop tech company as we're called today, right?
Mm.
It just so happened that as I became a homeowner and I was helping these people, I said there's got to be a better way, and so that's why we decided to build what we're building.
Mm. Okay, gotcha. So where's the company currently located?
Yeah, St. Louis. We have an office in St. Louis, actually, not far from, right around the corner off of Cherokee, actually.
Mm.
And then we just got to Oakland as well, so in the Bay as well.
Why did you choose to make St. Louis the home for HomePlan?
Basically because St. Louis, living in California as long as I did, you know, what, a decade basically. California is very expensive. So the runway for, if the capital we raised for our first company, it didn't last very long. Most people who don't come from tech will say, "Oh, you guys raised a lot of money," but in tech, in the tech world, is actually not a lot of money. We basically raised what's considered today pre-seed, but pre-seed didn't exist then. But when it comes to St. Louis allows us to, as we've raised a small round for HomePlan, we've raised what I call launch capital for HomePlan. It just gives us a longer runway to figure things out and to actually provide value. One of the things I want to point out with us is that we're a public benefit company. So we believe in, failing fast to a certain extent. But as you mentioned earlier, what we're building can actually help people grow wealth. That's one of the reasons why we built this as well, because we believe that people are underutilizing, especially Black and Brown people, are underutilizing their homes as assets. But St. Louis also has a burgeoning tech scene and a burgeoning tech ecosystem. We haven't had too much success really getting in touch with the mayor's office, but I believe that St. Louis has always been on the cusp of something big. And I'm sorry about that. There's an ambulance going down the street. I apologize. uh, but I think St. Louis has the potential to become a pretty important tech ecosystem. Right now, I believe that St. Louis is more so. There's a lack of community in St. Louis, right? But we know St. Louis has always produced great talent. I mean, Jack Dorsey, who founded Twitter and Square, is from St. Louis. You got Sam Altman, who used to run Y Combinator and other companies. He's now running OpenAI. He's from St. Louis as well. We have a lot more people in technology, in the technology space, from St. Louis, but they typically have to leave in order to get anywhere and do what they want to do, right? So we want to change that with St. Louis, and I believe in St. Louis's future as a startup hub.
So, so what does success look like for HomePlan in 2022?
Uh, for us, look, this year we're mainly focused on customer acquisition and retention. We're mainly focused on telling our story as well, and telling the value proposition in such a way that we make it simple for people to understand what it is we're offering. It's going to be tough for us because I put us in the same bucket as Airbnb. Airbnb had to launch 3 times for people to actually start using their platform and taking them seriously, right? And the reason for that is because they were trying to change human nature and human behavior, right? We build up these traits over years, sometimes decades, right? And things that we do. We build up habits, I should say, over years and decades. And it's hard to change them. You know, a lot of people are actually lazy. Once you set something up, you don't really want to change it, especially in the Midwest and the South. It's very difficult to convince people to change their habits and do things the proper way until tragedy strikes, typically. Right? A lot of people in the Midwest and South, something bad has to happen to them to get them to change their behavior. But we're trying to actually change human behavior, and that's going to take a while. So we have to tell our story in such a way that it's extremely easy to understand and extremely easy to gauge the value proposition, and to where people can say, "Hey, I'm going to use this because I don't want that, whatever that is, to happen to me." So that can be anything from let's say your home floods, or you have a fire at your home, or really anything.
I got you. I got you. What kind of culture are you trying to build at HomePlan? Like as you guys grow and you gain people, but as right now, just you two guys, what is the culture you guys are trying to build from the ground up to work inside and outside HomePlan?
So I'll start answering this, and then I'll have Alex kind of expand upon it, right? So at my first company, um, I would not, looking back, I would not have wanted to work for myself, right? I had a lot to learn. I was brand new to the space. Because we had raised a little bit of money. That comes with certain fiduciary duties, and I was always about go, go, go. Let's get this done. So I literally had my phone. I never turned off my phone. I never took time to live my regular life. Right? It became my identity. That company became my identity, and that's a path that I will never go down again. So with this new company, the culture that we want to build is one that's inclusive. So far, I'm a Black founder. Alex is a white founder. We have investors that are Hispanic as well and white as well. We're trying to build. We just recently interviewed a back-end engineer, and she is a Black woman from Africa. She's from Ethiopia, actually, if I'm not mistaken. But we want to build a company that represents the world and the demographics of the world. But we also want to build more of a relaxed work environment where we work 4 days a week. We don't believe in punching clocks. My new mantra is we're adults. Get your shit done. I don't believe in holding anyone's hands or micromanaging anymore, because what that tends to lead to is people resenting you or not liking your management style, and then you get a lot of turnover with employees. And you're just not a good. A lot of them think that you're just not a good person, even if you are. It's the way you come across to them. So you have to focus on how people experience you, right? And I think Alex can attest to our working style so far. If you want to pick it up from there, Alex.
Yeah, no, look, 100%, and I agree with everything you say. And on top of that note, it's just like you wouldn't, because we come from such different backgrounds between the two of us, you really wouldn't put the two of us together, right? But because of the same ideology and the same ethics that we share, we came together on this, this very important matter. And I really do appreciate his the input that he lets me have and all that, because we're kind of going off this idea, and I'm sure you'll agree that the best idea wins. It's not like one particular person's idea wins. It's always the best idea wins. And look, as we go forward, we will continue to grow a more global team and all that. So I'm really liking the culture here, and I think we're working on something great.
That's great to hear. It's so important, empowering people. Like, you got to empower people to be the best selves. You want to get the best out of them. So right. I definitely agree with you saying, Bash, and it definitely shows in Alex's confidence and to share his thoughts, because we can sometimes be intimidated by people because of their success or failures at age, but it's up to that person to make someone else feel confident to share their thought, because that thought will be the one you might need to get that ravine to the other side. So I definitely agree with that. How'd you guys meet? I'm sorry. How'd you guys meet?
Oh yeah. So that's actually a funny story. So Alex and I have known each other for what, Alex, 4 years now? A little bit more than 4 years?
Yeah, about 4.5.
4.5 years? Okay. So Alex, you want to tell this story, Alex?
Yeah, sure. So I'm 18. I need to remind myself. I'm 18 now, and when I was 14, I'd been doing iOS apps for a little while, and over the summer of 2017, if I'm not mistaken, and in Ireland you get 13 weeks off for summer holidays. So I don't know how long you guys got off, but 13 weeks is quite the amount of time. So I spent some time developing some apps, and one of my apps I developed was a news app. So it was like Swipe News. It was like Tinder for news. Where you swipe on articles you liked and didn't like, and I put it up on productdone.com, and to my surprise, I got quite a good response from a lot of people all over the world, and I was quite surprised. And I got featured on Mashable and Mexican News and some other websites of all kinds. And surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, this man out here said he reached out to me, and I think it was just a letter of encouragement more than anything else. We weren't you're just saying well done and what you've done, because I was only 14, you know.
Yeah, because you had actually inspired my sister, who's the same age as you. She was in a robotics class, and she was surprised that someone her age had gotten to the top of that website and had built an iOS app, an iPhone app.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we kind of parked there. We didn't really because I had, like, I'm sure you were busy, and I had a lot of people reaching out to me, so it was much appreciated. And then a couple of years later, 2020, the pandemic hit. So this is May 2020, and I reached out to all my old contacts, and then that's where the idea of HomePlan reached my inbox, and then we kind of took from there.
Yeah, because I had actually started working on HomePlan before Alex, and during that time, what Alex didn't mention is that we actually kept in touch over that time too, and we touched base every once in a while, but it wasn't like, hey, let's do something together. It was actually Alex. That last time Alex reached out to me during the pandemic, it was like, hey, I have some time. Like, what are you working on? I sent him, actually, we hopped on a call and I kind of explained what I wanted to do and why I was doing it. And he was like, oh, I'll help, And I was like, cool, I want you to. So we got to work, and it's been great ever since.
Wow. Yeah, and I think it's fair to say I didn't think it would turn into what it is now. I'm nowhere near disappointed. I'm more than excited for the future about it, but I couldn't have imagined what would have happened afterwards.
Yeah, we're, like he said, we're an unlikely couple.
Yeah.
I told him a good example for us is, because he's 18, I'm 35. So I told him a good example for that is, and by the way, he's wise beyond his years, and I forget that he's 18. Everybody who meets him, he's met about, he can attest to this too. Through working together, he's met 50 to 75 people over the past year and a half. From mortgage lenders to potential partners at multi-billion-dollar companies for partnerships. And I don't think people wake up one day and say, hey, as a 35-year-old, I want to work with an 18-year-old who's just graduating high school, who has basically no life experience and lives on a farm in rural Ireland. And then, I'm an inner city kid. I grew up in the projects, when I was really young. And we came out of that because my mom's, she was a strong and proud Black woman who, raised some good kids. And, but yeah, we're an unlikely pairing, man. And I think it's amazing how well we fit together and work together.
Dope. I got like 2 more questions for you guys. I'm gonna let you busy co-founders go. So what do you like about each other, and what are you guys' struggle points?
What I like about Alex is something that I've already mentioned, that he's wise beyond his years, but also the fact that he's very malleable. I like to think of myself as being malleable as well, but I think that we have a healthy level of respect for each other as well. I wouldn't want to build this company with anybody else as my co-founder. It turned out that, like I said, this kid who was just graduating high school just so happened to be the perfect person for me to work with. And it reminds me of the relationship between Dave Stewart and Jim Kavanaugh from Worldwide Technology. They're separated by, I think, 15 to 20 years, something like that. It's very similar to Alex and I. And Dave Stewart happens to be a black guy, and Jim Kavanaugh happens to be a white guy. So it's very similar. And hey, they just did $13.5 billion in annualized revenue the other year. So hopefully we can get to that point. But I think Alex, aside from being wise beyond his years, he's extremely talented. He's extremely smart. He can fill in the gaps of my thought processes, right? It's gotten to the point to where we can kind of finish each other's sentences or thoughts now. And that's scary, but also very fun. And it's great to have somebody who's on the same wavelength.
Synergy. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Well, look, I have to say thank you. But so in terms of what I like about you, I mean, it's his knowledge. I mean, you'd be surprised at the amount of knowledge this man has. I know he says I'm wise beyond my years, but even for a 35-year-old, it's quite impressive the amount of knowledge he has on so many different aspects about something. Like, you just bring up a certain topic, and then he knows a whole Wikipedia page of stuff about it. I'm not kidding you. He can talk about stuff for hours. Second thing being his honesty. I mean, crap, I don't think I've met anyone more honest. And to the point with his honesty too, which is, I mean, it's hard to come by. I think with a lot of people these days, And then thirdly is kindness and openness, because I don't think many people would have taken an 18-year-old into this. Mm-hmm. And second of all, I mean, he's been so willing to accommodate everything. And I mean, obviously that plays into the culture of the whole business, but he's accommodated me when I was finishing up school and how tedious that kind of was and stuff like that. But he's a great friend as well as just a great founder, and makes him a good
and that's a great point too, that we've actually become friends throughout this process. And touching on culture really quickly, I actually promised his father and I had a conversation. I actually promised his father that I would put his mental health first and foremost, and that that with my first company, I became depressed and ran myself into the ground for the first time in my life. And I was considered, the go-to guy to solve everybody's problems. Well, that go-to guy had a breakdown himself, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't want to, push people down that same path, where they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm very focused on our health, whether it's mental, physical, whatever.
So, all right. Last question, young man. What is the peace of mind do y'all want to deliver with HomePlan? So what's the peace of mind y'all looking to deliver with HomePlan?
So the peace of mind, I'm going to say that's the value proposition. The peace of mind for us is, and the value proposition is like, hey, come to a one-stop place to manage literally every aspect of your home. Become more educated, because we believe that education is a fundamental piece of generating wealth when it comes to managing assets. And we know that in the Black community and the Hispanic community, we typically lack financial literacy. So, that's one thing. But also, like I said, just having an all-in-one place to get everything done with your home so you can get back to your everyday life. Most people have families most people who are homeowners have families. You have a job that pays you at least decently well. You have other things to worry about, and your home shouldn't be one of them.
I'm with it. Well, guys, I want to thank you for coming on the Cognac Corner and sharing with my connoisseurs the ambitions and goals of HomePlan. Where can they find you? Where can they sign up, get some early access, or get up on the waiting list?
So we're in private beta right now. You can get early access by going to joinhomeplan.com. Find us on Twitter at joinhomeplan or Instagram at homeplanhq. And if you would like to talk to Alex or myself, you can contact both of us at our first name at joinhomeplan.com. So Alex at joinhomeplan.com and Bash at joinhomeplan.com.
Well, folks, that's it. I want to thank Alex and Bash for coming on. Where they can find them, great conversation. I look forward to see more of HomePlan in all its different forms as it grows and be great. It won't be our last conversation. There'll be plenty of us in the future. So I'm going to say I'm Marcus, so that's Miss Boston. This has been Cognac Corner. Love yourself, love each other, and love is all we got.